sank closer to the wall, her hands clutching the sewing box more tightly. Bernard knew how she cherished it, and if she left it here, he would smash it apart. She stared into the box at the threads and buttons, running her fingers lightly over their gentle shapes. No, she wouldn't leave it behind. She must take it. The truth was, she'd need something like this in her new life. She'd need precisely this. With no furniture of her own, with nothing of home, she might really go mad. Part of her could live in this box. The small window's frame rattled in a blast of wind, and she leaned over to look out, hollow with fear. The night sky was starless and black. It was past time to go. God help her if the storm raged too long. Once they pushed off into that cold lake, she could never return to White Hill. At last, the front door slammed, and seconds later, she saw Bernard taking long strides down the road, away from the lake and toward town. Her eyes caught on an object gripped in his right hand. It was the axe. Her gaze swooped blindly around the dim room, then returned to the dark form of her husband. Was he looking for her with an axe? Even from the attic, she could see that his gait was drunken with anger. When at last he had been swallowed by shadows and trees, she sat frozen, forcing herself to wait. Just 3 minutes. 2. Gather your courage. Now, Mary. Get on with it, she said finally, and the feeling of her voice in her throat gave her strength. She stuffed strands of blonde hair up under her hat, stood beneath the low ceiling, and moved quickly, gripping the bag's handles with sweating hands. She picked her way along a memorized path through the dark attic, raced down the stairs, and crossed the cold, naked floors of the house to flee through the wind-blown sand and grass. The sewing box knocked against her hip, her bags grew heavy quickly, and the sky began to hurl rain. She scanned the wet darkness. No one was near. No one following. Then at last it was there, the channel light, and 30 steps later she could see Robert's boat rocking wildly near the pier. She wanted to laugh and cry. She searched the open, storm-blown sand again, and then again, in every direction, but she detected no watching eyes, and out on his boat that loyal man was waiting just as he had said he would be. Her feet sank and slipped in the damp sand, and her heart smashed against her ribs. Wind threshed the grasses that hissed around her knees, and as her boots reached the solid pier boards, the Fata Morgana heaved up and down on turbulent waves, its prow slapping the lake. The voices of the water and the night urged Mary to hurry, crying out that she was only doing what she had to do, that the notion she could stay in White Hill and make her life work was only a fantasy. She had never really had a choice at all. Chapter 1. White Hill, Michigan, March, 1999. From The Letter, by Amy Lowell, 1874 to 1925. Little cramped words scrawling all over the paper like draggled flies' legs. What can you tell of the flaring moon through the oak leaves? Lydia Carroll had no idea what she would find among the dense woods off Gravenstein Road. The poet's house was now little more than a grave, and the driveway was squeezed to a footpath by wild growth. Dirty snow banked the north sides of trees, and ice pooled in the surrounding lowland that was once a celery farm. Mary Stone Walker would have walked this way 1,000 times. 10,000. I begged the spring, return, we wait beside the long, small fires of winter. Facts about the poet were few beyond her writings, and Lydia was at the point of feeling almost desperate for answers about the woman's actual life, most importantly, how it ended. For even 60 years after her disappearance, no one was sure. Lydia knew that no matter how prolific the author, even if she had left behind stacks of journals, still there would be missing as